everybody, this is Phil Driscoll, and I'm coming to you from across the water. I'm talking here with Francis, and he said, why don't you tell us a little bit about you? Well, I can tell you in about 30 seconds. I started music when I was about 6 years old. First played a steel guitar. Then by the time I was 11, it was obvious that I had a gift. I started playing trumpet. And I played trumpet my entire life. Didn't start singing until I was about 20, 21. I got into writing music. I was a theory and composition major in college. But the music exploded. And my first record for Jesus was in 1969. And that was a bestseller for Word Records. And then my hair got long and my music got wilder, and I was told God didn't like it funky, or God didn't like rhythm, and God didn't like it loud. So I said, well, I'll see you, God. And I took off and did a whole thing on my own in the secular world. I played with Joe Cocker, played with a lot of rock and roll guys, wrote for Blood, Sweat, and Tears, was great friends with Billy Preston. We wrote songs together. But the bottom line is, in 1977, on Christmas Day, I had an encounter of the first kind. And it was with Jesus, and he changed my life that day. I'd been involved in a lot of drug stuff. I probably spent $600,000-$700,000 in drugs, and then I got delivered, and my life has never been the same. But it was told to me that my mom, when I was a little boy, when I was in her womb, really, had an encounter with the Lord, and she saw a stairway, and music was going up and music was coming down. And where she had that vision was in, my dad was a minister. He built 15 churches in his life. But in that church in Seattle, Washington, or Spokane, Washington rather, she was looking, praying, and there was like a stained glass, and light came from the stained glass into her. And that was when before I was born, I was in her womb. And so from the beginning, there was always a sense of heavenly music. And as I grew in the Lord, it became very obvious. Years ago, he told me he would hold me accountable for heavenly sounds. And that began a quest of my life. So that being said, that's just the basis of the foundation. But I've played probably for Jesus. I've recorded 37 CDs. That's about almost 500 songs. Played in about 50 countries. And it's probably stronger and better now than it ever has been. But there's so little, the final frontier, in my view, is the area of praise and the area of worship. Because our world is getting darker, more challenges, regardless of what nation you are in. There are more challenges in every nation than there's ever been. And there's seemingly a lack of God awareness. When you realize that the DNA that's in God is in you as a human being, then it changes the game, if you can use it loosely. Whatever kind of life you live right now is a combination of what you inherited and what kind of sound you put into your world. If you want to change your world, change the sound in your world. If you want to change a city, change the sound in the city. The city has to change. You want to change a nation, change the sound in the nation, and the nation will change.